Hey everyone, Lasergician here, off the Master Series Qualifier Week number 1 cast yesterday, which was a ton of fun. I thought that this week we could just play some of the cool decks that we got to see yesterday. I'm probably going to do that for the next couple weeks for all the qualifiers, assuming there are enough decks that are new and worth looking at, which there probably will be. So we're going to start off this week with really Bo's second place finish on the Doomcrag Redoran conscription. This is an archetype that was floating around kind of in the late summer, early fall last year, 2018, that got a couple cool new toys in the last little while. Golden Initiate is a nice life gain. Varian Aquilarios can just absolutely dumpster all over aggro matchups. And then Zivkeen Banelord is a really cool little combo piece because you have a ton of ways to ping between, things like Firebrand, Zealots, Rapid Shots. Skaven Pyromancer is a phenomenal clear that Bo managed to pull off with Zivkeen Banelord once during the tournament. And then while all that's going on, you're getting all of your little dudes real big and swole between 3 copies of Praetorian Commander, 3 copies of Divine Fervor, and after a single Praetorian Commander proc, you can use Odinira Necromancer to bring back Praetorian Commander again. So I'm calling this Bo buffs because you just get your little dudes to be super, super big and then overwhelm your opponent in the late game with Telesis Conscription. Now, sometimes the deck has to play the aggressor if you're against a deck that is really, really good at being reactive. You'll see that in a couple of the games today where we just happen to draw the aggressive end of our deck first and all of our value tools later. So we just turn the corner, decide we're going to go aggressive, try to close the game out a little bit faster. That's one of the strengths of my opinion of this deck, is that you can be rather fluid with your game plan. You can either turn the gas on early if you need to, which is a backup plan that is not your primary win condition, but you can do it, or you can have this disgustingly, overwhelmingly powerful late game after a bunch of buffs and Telesis Conscription. So check it out. I think this deck is super fun. It's an archetype that I played a lot back when it was getting some hype, and I'm really glad to see it's getting some attention again because I just think it's a blast to play. So let me know what you think. List will be in the comments, and yeah, check it out. All right, we're going to queue up for game number 1 with the really Bo's Doomcrag Praetorian Redoran deck. This is an archetype that I played a good amount. Fall of last year. This is one that's a lot of fun. I ran it with Journey because it was even more memey and had even better late game potential, which if you got there was just overwhelmingly fun. So taking it out using Bo's version as presented in the Master Series qualifier, just for the sake of getting an idea of how it worked. We're going to toss back the Conscription. That's a late game card if I've ever seen one. This is a pretty solid opening hand. One of the things that's interesting about this deck is that it can go aggressive early if it needs to pretty well. Usually you don't want to because your late game is so ridiculously good. But if you really need to, it's something you can do. I am assuming this is going to be a Control Empire build, but I could be wrong. If it is, then we're in luck because I think we just demolish that deck if we take our time. We can bump into that and then just call it a day. We're not in a hurry. Aristaroth the Creator, our opponent. Necromancer's Amulet. Dushnik goes real well into that. So this is telling me that it is likely to be the Miracle version. It's going to be the Abomination Scout equivalent. Let's start with the Camel. Necromancer is a great pull. If he is A-bomb, do we just want to go? I don't think so. We can take that out, though. I think we're probably fine taking that late. Yep. Taking a turn off to spoils, totally fine. Now, I'm looking to get Nymir's Shrine up and running next turn so we can raiding party now. We don't need to use it, but we have the cards in hand to activate Shrine next turn. very, very easily if we want to. We expect it'll probably get removed after one turn at most. Broom is fine. Guildsworn is also fine. I like casting the Guildsworn into time, but there's probably other things that are more threatening. I do think I want to get Shrine going. It's 1, 2, 3. Assuming that's going to get removed now because it's a control deck and we're still pretty early in the game. He has plenty of resources. We haven't really taken that many off of them yet. So having support removal would make sense. Yep, Shadowfen. No surprise at all. Camel is a good draw. Let's see. Redoran Forerunner allows for some nice trades. Probably want to trade into this guy right here. And then we're actually gonna Zealot down the Slime Marshblade, so that way Guildsworn Revitalizer doesn't, or rather that way we can keep our Fifth Legion Trainer alive and going. And next turn we're probably gonna start with an Odinir Necromancer on a Camel, try and get some cycle. Galen is totally fine. That was a quick keep. Slime Marshblade, fine. Not a problem at all. Skaven. Does that change anything? It might. Oh, we start with Necromancer. Oh, we don't have the camel dead. Shit. Well, I guess we're going for this anyway. Oh, we do have a camel in there. Nice. Okay. Shrine is great. And a real nice Skaven there. Does get to draw, which is a little bit of a bummer, but that's okay. Most of our deck is pretty low curve, so thinking we can draw into something to pair with the Shrine. Our board position is pretty nice. Javelin down on that. Thankfully not cast. Okay. Let's see. 2, 6, nothing to pair it with. We'll just knock him down to 26 and call it. Again, we're not in a hurry. This is a late game deck. We're perfectly happy going as late as anyone else wants. Except maybe Ebonheart Pact. Ebonheart Pact will kind of hard wreck us. Ooh. Okay, great. We can deal with that. You can also get an on-day. 6, 10, 13. Can't quite do everything I want to. Do I want the blood magic spell? I think I do. Throw that kind of wherever. Doesn't matter too much right now. We'll get the blood magic spell. Hoping for Raise Dead. Corpse Curse isn't great. It's not bad. It's not bad. But it's not the best. Recursion would have been real nice there. This does mean we can pretty easily activate our Namira Shrine. Yep, that's why we kept one in hand, because that was probably going to be something that we should worry about sooner rather than later. We do need to find... Ooh, now we really need to find some support room. That's not it. Okay, given that he's going to start getting an enormous amount of cards, I'm actually going to turn on the pressure. Praetorian is a fantastic draw. If they have a second cast into time, that's a problem, but not the worst. Okay, the fact that he can remove our shrines and we can't remove his means we are going to lose the attrition war sooner rather than later. So we need to put on the pressure immediately. So otherwise we're just going to lose.
I'll kill you where you stand.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Behold the power of the night.
You will feed my clan.
You won't foil my plan.
A little bit of bad ordering there, but that's okay. I think we actually really need to cast into time. No, we need a Corpse Curse because otherwise he can trade into our powerful lane and we're just going to die. So now we're looking at a nice board, but if he has a board clear, we're in huge trouble. Red Brahmin is really bad. Yeah, this is going to be a game that's a loss because of not drawing any support removal. Let's go with the Ashlander Zealot to cut off his healing. We actually have enough Magicka to do all of this. Get rid of his value engine in the Necromancer. We're looking to win in the next turn or two, otherwise we're going to be in a bad, bad spot.
They call me the Bandit King.
Okay, he's a conscription variant.
Training is over. It's time.
So far there's no healing for him. That's one instance of healing. Okay, so he gets a good amount of health back. Not an absurd amount, but a good amount. Cast into time. Let's see. 2, 4, 8, 9, 12, 16. We have exact +1.
You will feed my clan.
3, 1,
You will feed
4.
my clan.
Need to go this order. There we go. So we managed to turn the corner intelligently. We decided to go aggressive right when we needed to, and it paid off. So that's one of the benefits of this deck. It has a lot of aggressive capabilities and can get going pretty well. So that's one game. I think we're gonna try and queue up for one more. Might do a third if it is a win. We'll see. Yeah, don't go anywhere. Be right back. All right, game number 2 with Really Bo's Doomcrag Redoran. Won the first game off of a nice decision to go aggressive when we saw that they were about to outvalue us. Now we are going to be against what is presumably a burn assassin. This may be a little hard for us because once they just go off, we don't have a lot to do about that. Thankfully, we did draw the Golden Initiate and a Barrow Stalker. Those cards are stupidly good against burn assassin because if we can just get a bunch of health, they can't burn us out. Okay, we're gonna put something in front of that. 3 damage is still burn, effectively. Damage is damage. So the more damage they can get on the board, the worse position we're going to be in. So we just want to keep them off of any damage at all. Ice Spike, Cycle, and Burn is really good for them.
Speak, citizen.
Golden Initiate is plenty for now. Okay, Bolt. So they have almost no support removal in their class. So we're going to get the Namira Shrine going now. Basically, unless they tech Vicious Drag, then this is uncontested. Blue and green just doesn't have support removal. Really, really, really looking for a 1 or a 2 drop. Awesome. So, like I said, we are a deck that can pretty well go aggressive, so we are going to. This is a match where Burn Assassin does really, really well if you don't pressure them, and we have a deck that is reasonably capable of pressuring, so we're going to. Spoils of War. with no empowers on it is really nice for us.
Come at me. You have met your end.
Same story. We get to proc Namira's Shrine off of this, and also we get to present a bunch of pressure. Rapid Shot, a really nice one because that feeds into Namira's Shrine very, very simply. Winter's Grasp, maybe? Blackhand Messenger, we can deal with that. Blood Sacrament, so that's a good amount of healing for them. Ooh, Golden Initiate is so nice for us. Oh, we get to heal, we get to keep the value train going with the damage. We get a card off of this, a second Namira's Shrine. We can potentially get an engine going here. The question is going to be now, are they running Ice Storm? Usually they don't. Usually they'll run Winter's Grasp instead, as it is 1 magicka less cost. Paralyze, okay. So that's a 0 cost out of their hand. We're going to just try and get the second shrine going. Ooh. Is that better? Maybe. It's slow, but it's magicka efficient, and it is another body to hit with. That may be a mistake. It may have been better to Zealot and Shrine there. We'll see. We'll see. The good news is we have a lot of removal available to us between Javelin and Edict. So if they are the market variant, we have at least 1 support removal. And if they're just going to jam a Hex Mage, we can deal with that as well. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 11 damage capable. Analyzer, standing up to his moniker, looking at the situation nice and hard. Okay, Hex Mage, that is going to eat some removal immediately. Haha. Okay. This is a little scary. A little scary. Do they have enough for spoils? They do, that's a problem. Get a Doomcrag, move in shadows. Are we just dead? We might be dead. This is a tough matchup for us, so that's not too much of a surprise. Burn Assassin has a pretty good matchup. Okay, we're not dead. What can Necromancer bring back for us? I can bring back Barrow Stalker, Golden Initiate, nothing too relevant, so we need to just remove. Redoran Forerunner is some healing. And then we want to be looking for lethal next turn. No enemy to fight, but we do get the draw. We can get another 2 points of reach off of sacking the Forerunner into Necromancer and summoning it back. We have some burst damage. Shadow Shift isn't a 0 cost. That's not 0 cost either. They haven't healed. What is it going to be, Analyzer? We get an Abyssinian Navigator. Aren't a lot of actions that are really relevant for us. Shadow Shift is again not a 0 cost. We might get there. We might get there. Can we do it? Can we do it? Come on, Analyzer. I want this one. I want it. Yes. Okay. So first things first is we get all of the health back that we can. 1. What? That was weird. I think that means we have it? Oh, are we 1 short? We might be 1 short. Well, in that case, we're still going to heal. We sack that to get the Redoran Forerunner,
I know a shortcut.
which offers more healing. We can Navigator for something. I'm not sure what we'd look for. Okay. Well, we couldn't quite get there. We were close. I probably missed lethal by not bringing back the Orc Clan Captain there. So I think we're probably dead. Shadow Marking's not a Hex Mage. 'Cause I doubt that Analyzer has enough just on 0 costs. With 3 markets, they definitely do. They need 4 0 costs to kill us. 1, we're probably dead. we're almost certainly dead. 2. Three. I just need 1 more. Yeah, that'll do it. All right, well, I think I missed lethal there. All right, well, just lost to a high roll Exalt Tribunal who managed to get a 10-10 Vivek on turn 5. Turn 6, maybe? I don't know. Not really a lot to do against that if you don't have removal. That's kind of the equivalent of running into a Slay Warrior who gets an Iron Nature knock on turn 2. Or 4, I guess, with a Slay effect. Against... Telvanni could be running mid-range. But I doubt it. I would guess that BetterUp, who I know from tournaments occasionally, I would guess that they are practicing control for Master Series qualifier. So I feel okay holding back a bit, going for a little slower approach. Am I going to get instantly punished by that? Let's find out. Or we could wait. Waiting is cool. Okay, cool. Alright, Divine Fervor and Praetorian in hand with Ring is pretty nice. Wardcrafter matches up relatively well, but Golden Initiate is fine. Wardcrafter is drawn in pretty much every Telvanni ever, so that doesn't really tell us a lot. Sanctuary Pet also doesn't tell us much. I don't really feel the need to pressure all that much. Ashland Zealot means we can trade over 2 turns, but I don't really feel like we need to. I think waiting is fine. We are going to ring out Fervor into Praetorian and hopefully not get instantly punished by a Shadowfen Priest. But given how quickly they held onto that, I'm a little worried. We're going to try it. We're going to see if it sticks. If it doesn't stick, that sucks, but it's not the end of the world by any means. If it sticks, that means that Ashlander Zealot can trade without dying. Okay, cool. That's not support removal. So we're going to drop down a Praetorian. Luzra means we're probably going to play in the Shadow lane. Alright, that's our value on the board and in our deck. The worry now is if BetterUp can do what we did in game 1 and just kind of smork us down. It's possible. Worth noting, this deck has no ramp at all. 12 Magicka is as far as we go. But BetterUp hasn't hit any ramp either, which is super nice. Scout support could change that. We'll see. Thinking real hard on that one. one of the best draws in the deck would be a Skaven Pyromancer to clear out the field lane. That'd be real nice. Better up rocking the Daggerfall Covenant card back, I believe. Good man. That's the best class. I fucking love Daggerfall Covenant. It's so fun. Alright. Better up really thinking. Alright, decides to burn it. We can probably check what that was. Ooh, Namira's Shrine in the graveyard. So that means they are going to decide to just go on the aggressive. Okay, we can work with this. There's things we can do here. Bruma is a lovely draw.
There's always a plan. Let's do this. Attack.
We want to get as much health from here as we can.
The tribunal's lackeys.
And that, I believe, is not enough for Onday, correct? We have killed, what? Just the Luzra and the Blackhand Messenger? That's not enough. So Onday, probably not the play. We can just play it as a big threat. I like Barrow Stalker, though. Gets us some health back, presents a body that is at least a 2-for-1 on board. Ice Storm is not great into our board either, which is really nice. So Better Up is running Shrines, which means probably Conscription, and for sure a late game deck. So we may be slightly favored. It depends on how the draws turn out. Also depends on if we can get a couple more Praetorian buffs before Better Up can get rolling, because if we can, then our late game is immense. We just got to get there. And so far, it's looking like we'll be just fine. We're going to keep that Dushnik for as long as possible. That is being saved for a Shrine 100%. Even if they put down a Necromancer's Amulet, which occasionally is run, not usually, but occasionally, then we are perfectly happy getting rid of that. Or rather, letting that stay so we can get rid of the Namira Shrine instead. Our late game has a lot of damage, so we don't need to worry too much about him having much health. Ice Storm is going to come out. Sharpshooter doesn't offer much.
You won't foil my plan.
I do want to play some things so that we can have some healing. A lot of draws would have been a lot better than that. Namira's Shrine would be phenomenal. Praetorian Commander would be good. And we really need to get some draw going. A Necromancer, would that be good? Let's see. Necromancer would be amazing because we can get a Praetorian proc. I would actually, great draw right now would be a Camel. Camel would be phenomenal draw.
They've no move we can't anticipate.
Okay, he gets a draw. We can Sharpshooter Scout that down. Okay, we're going to get an Onday Blood spell if we want it, which we do.
My bow is ready.
Come on. Big boy. That's 1. There's 2 and 3. Onday comes down. Shadow Initiate comes down field. I think. That may have been a mistake.
Citizen.
And given that we're running low on resources, we actually now want to start going aggressive. Drain Life is some phenomenal reach. If Better Up doesn't have something pretty significant, we're looking at lethal next turn, I believe. 5, 11, yeah, well, I mean, by a lot, but I mean, I believe no matter what he has, we probably still have a good shot at it. Debilitate would hurt. Ice Storm, we are pretty resilient to. We would have 12, 17, 18 points worth of damage, 1 short if Ice Storm comes down. Ah, no. Does have Ice Storm number 2. That's a bummer. and Skinned Hound. Okay. We can still deal with this. That's a bummer. Dushnik, I think, has no more value as support removal. So now we're just looking for conscription. Redoran Forerunners, Nord Firebrands, Thorn Histmage can survive one of our attacks. Okay, we don't have it. We were close there. Ooh! Ooh! Oh, that's lethal! Alright! There we go. That's another win for it. Again, we're just deciding to go on the aggressive when our gas is running low and when their gas is kicking in. Works out pretty well. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it from my end. So we went 2 and 2, but one was just to a ladder high roll, so I don't really feel that bad about it. I think this deck is really fun. I think it has a lot of good potential. As a ladder deck, it's not bad. I think it is better as a tournament deck when you're targeting other late game decks that aren't Ebonheart packed. But either way, it's a ton of fun. There will be a link to the deck in the description. So yeah, let me know what you thought. I think the rest of the week we're going to be doing more qualifier decks as well. So yeah, hit that like, subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.